So with that in mind, I'm also going to bring up the bracket for today. We've got Aachen versus Pango, Empire versus Pavaga. Again, hopefully I'm saying all of this correctly. And then afterwards, we're going to have the upper bracket match. That's going to be played off, so that's that one just to the right of it. I hope you guys love my high quality graphics. I pulled these ones together myself. Very, very good, solid text. Let's just make sure that this doesn't get pulled all over the place. All right, wonderful. We're good. It's just going to stay right there. Nicely done, Pavaga. Then we're going to head back to in-game. But yeah, so we're going to have the upper bracket match that happens, and at the same time, there will be a lower bracket match that will be played afterwards. So a lot of great Dota 2 today. Very excited to be casting all of this for all you fine folks out there. And as I said, because my co-caster bailed at the last second, I am going to chill here and wait for all you fine folks out there. And you know, you'll be my co-casters. We can just talk about it as it's happening. It doesn't matter if it's a 5-minute delay. You guys are talking about the wonderful music that's being played, the fact that it's a 24-hour timer because we went into the negatives, which always makes things absolutely lovely. Oh man, high quality, 24 hours and 58 minutes. Lol. But let's talk a little bit about this game. What do we have here? Whoa, Aachen City Esports. Very interesting. The opening here of going for a Lich Grimstroke, what we've seen a billion times, but then Chaos Knight Lina. This does sort of reveal a lot of what's going on early. I don't think it's as bad because you're up against Razor. Razor versus Lina is kind of a funky matchup where early on, if like Razor's able to get a little bit of a movement speed advantage, which he should have, I think, because Lina is not that fast. Until you start obviously getting points up in Fiery Soul and then spells, which isn't really going to happen in the laning stage all that much. It can be a little bit dangerous if you overextend, but these also aren't necessarily the heroes for the Pango that want to rotate early. Like Jakiro is not really going to do all that much. Pangolier is kind of like a bizarre rotating hero, where obviously with 6 he's amazing. You can get in up close and personal with like, you know, a swashbuckle and then into a shield crash or whatever, but it's sort of I would say a telegraphed gank, because if Pango isn't in lane, you kind of know, okay, he's moving, he's not the highest movement speed hero in the world, just as far as like gain across the map in time to make that rotation, but you know, it's something that could work out. Let's see, coming soon, Crappa, wonderful. You could hear the draft bands earlier. What the fuck, start casting already? Thank you, more and more Faisto. I appreciate that. Is this the Fallout 76 reveal stream? It is indeed. That is actually what is happening. We're here to reveal Fallout 76. I didn't play that game, but I did like the music that accompanied it. So anyways, that all talk was sort of not something that's going to be that relevant. It was more about like a Pango rotate. That's not what's going to happen anyways, right? God, I've seen the Pango draft Pangolier so many times, and I feel like every time I see him play it, it loses. I think this hero is just, it's hard to make it work. I think that they are one of the best teams in this qualifier, so just playing something that makes them comfortable is probably the best route. But this draft, it looks kind of interesting to me. I've talked extensively about this, that I think there are not that many heroes where you really want to pair the Grimstroke ulti together with another big ulti. And the reason behind that is because then you're sort of on this weird, super cooldown reliant thing. I think Lifesteal is one of the best carries in the patch right now. We'll come back to that later. But it's like you fall into this weird trap where you sort of want to save your soulbind for a big team fight and make sure that everybody else is there. And in theory, these things look amazing. You know, roar, you hit both of them. You throw out the Laguna Blade, you combo with both of them. So much pure damage. Chain Frost is sort of a different story. We can talk about more of that later. But it's like, these things aren't really the best thing in the world, I think, to pair together with Soulbind. Really, you're picking this hero much more about the Inkswell, you know, in the laning stage being a very good fit with it, and that's something where it fits together with Lich too, because suddenly you can have presence in 2 separate lanes, or both of them in the same lane. And if you have Frost Shield together with Inkswell, that's just terrifying. Like Beastmaster running at somebody, it's gonna be a problem. But that's why you take this Naive Lifestealer. That's why you put him in this game, because he is such a good hero at being able to deal with pressure really, really early. So I like it. I don't know how much Aachen City Esports' team is going to sort of gel together in that mid-game teamfighty situation, because the Pango, you look at this lineup, there really aren't that many long cooldown spells. Like, Rolling Thunder's relatively low cooldown, Eye of the Storm, you don't really need to fight that much. Mag RP is pretty much the only one, but honestly, I think that they can probably take team fights regardless of that. The Jakiro to me is one of the best heroes at being able to do it. You start throwing out those ice paths in the middle of these fights, it creates so much chaos and problems. And particularly when you've got all of this AoE control, it's perfect against CK. And what is Aachen City Esports lineup built around right now? It's about getting CK big, maybe snowballing some with like the Lena Beastmaster. If they have a good lane, I think that that could be very strong. But yeah, it's sort of weird. I will also say that I kind of like the combination of like a Ghost Stick Infest Bomb going with the Lifestealer. That seems like it could be pretty strong. What are you guys thinking? Lyrical, the Kekona Pride, thank you very much. Is it just me or does Caster sound kind of sick? Don't worry, I'm basically over the slight illness that I had. Still coming from the major. It was a relatively long time, and I'm also drinking massive amounts of coffee while tucking back on Tylenol PM. Oh no, there's no observer. I have to be the observer too. Guys, this is a problem. Actually, it's perfectly fine, don't worry. Everything is good. All right, wonderful. So we got some early tips going out there. Movement across the map, more tips back and forth. Wonderful. You know, if you had to guess, these players probably place off against each other often in the just pub matches and everything else. I'm sure somebody's flamed somebody else. You know, that's something that needs to be added to the spectating features of Dota. You need to be able to see when somebody else has muted another player. Like right now, I can see that I've not muted any of these players, right? But I want to see like little arrows being drawn that go like, all right, Slayer, he just hates Jonas and Fam, and they mute each other constantly. You know what I mean? And then you can like build up the lore a little bit more. That would be the real hypeness. Think back to True Sight, they muted all of their teammates at the very beginning. Think about how cool of a storyline that would be if you could have actually seen like casters talk about that at the start. That would be the real hypeness. Send in all of your feedback to Reddit at dota2.com, and I'm sure everything will be fine. Everything will get where it needs to be. Zayat playing on the Magnus. Looks like it should be a trade-off of bounty runes here, but as we mentioned, the Inkswell Beastmaster combination. I mean, they did nerf Beastmaster, but this hero is still insane. Absolutely insane. Let me double check. Anything else that's going on? Make sure the stream is looking good. I've not dropped any frames at all. Wonderful. I'm also actually just going to mute this. Close this guy out. We're going to copy paste. Wonderful. And then I'm going to pop out chat so that way I don't have to have this open anymore. Perfect. So Zayat has Skewer, wants to see if he can move in here and mess around a little bit with Mr. Screen. Screen Squad, a classic old team. We're another player, and he's had a ton of different teams that he's played for. Taking this early point in Dual Breath, we'll try and see if he can kill off the board. That's one of the best ways to deal with this hero, I think, and the pressure that he puts on is just try and kill off the board. But if he summons a second one and they keep the pressure on, gotta be careful, Mr. Slayer. It's dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Keep our eyes open, make sure we don't miss any first bloods. Ghost Stick taking a little bit of harassment here from Mr. Screen himself. Bum, bum, ba-da-bum. Back up to full. If I cough off to the side, don't worry about it. Everything is fine. Interesting. Oftentimes, when you summon that hawk, they'll send it over and block off camps with it. But this time, they're going to send it off to the right, and Coop hopefully living here. It's going to get back out a little bit. I'll mention this guy. He's played on a couple of different teams. Oftentimes, he's been playing with Waga in the past, and he's always stood out to me as one of the most sort of proficient players on Tier 2 teams. He's often looked like the best player on whatever team he's playing for. I don't know if that's just because he's playing with Waga or what, but no flame here at all. But it is something to keep in mind that this guy is pretty well known, and I think that he's really shown up from time to time. I want to say like Pudge and Earth Spirit. You know, flashy 4 heroes is kind of the name of the game, but it's something to keep our eyes on. And of course, I missed the first blood. I should have known it was going to be in this lane. My bad, guys. It's on me, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about what's been going on mid lane. So far, Lina having a very nice time of it. 16-1 versus 11-3. And this is, I think, something to sort of be expected a little bit as the levels get up higher and higher. Jonas and Fam, a little bit of trouble. They're going to try and turn. Pango pops the rage, and one more hit. Tries to get the salve off, but does not manage to escape. And Lifestar will find that kill. Meanwhile, Slayer can get the walk away. No Boars dealing harassment, and it looks like not quite able to get the extra stroke of fate off. So, looks like Jakiro should be fine. We'll go over and check for the runes. It is a haste. Oh, God, they got to be careful there. Moving in. Gonna actually move forward and find the kill, dropping the ward. This is what I'm talking about. Mr. Flashy Man. This guy knows how to play some Dota. And does have his salve going. He could actually, he's going to think about popping the mango there. Oh, wanted to go for the courier snipe. Can't make it happen. And, yeah, wisely, this Razor is going to hide behind the tower. I love it when you say something and then, like, immediately it happens. I'm like, watch out for this guy. He knows what he's doing. And he does it. What a player. Oh, might have to deny his boar. Oh, it's so sad. Killing pets. It's a rough time. So, yeah. Lifestealer, Jakiro, they are sort of having a pretty decent time here, I would say. Killing off Jonas and Fam was big. Like, losing to Jakiro earlier, not the biggest deal in the world for the support for sure, as Ghostic is going to get dove under tower here. Skewer to try and save his life, and Zayat actually doing some body blocking there to make sure that Ghostic can live, and woo, Mr. Screen. Oh, the pullback and he's one punch. He gets the kill. Oh, what a guy. That was sick. All right, Zayat is actually a monster. How often do you see, like, a Magnus level 2 simultaneously being, like, a save hero and then also being able to turn around and find the kill? That's insane. That was really, really well done. Now he's going to be able to ensure that he gets this stack off. Double the stack for double the fun. Open up your flavor for double mint Zayat. Oh, it's amazing. So Aachen able to get 3 runes in turn. Which is pretty nice. A little bit faster clicking here. Does still have the mango. Oh, this is Danger Town though. Yeah, Jakiro hits really hard. And is going to just TP back away now. So they're going to be fine. And does have the shrine that... Actually, Slayer's going to use solo. What's I'm going to say about that? I'm a little surprised that this ward has not been taken down yet. The fact that was dropped in plain sight and he saw him hit uphill. Maybe he didn't see him actually drop the ward. That's a possibility. It's in English, it would sound something like Aachen. 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 Might just have to say dire, guys. I'm sorry. I'm the absolute worst, but it might have to happen. Invisibility. Oh, thinking about punching him. Oh, he messed up that last hit. What are you doing? Kicked immediately. Ooh, good amount of damage there on the naive as well. Although, you're looking at this Lifestealer, already has his Midas recipe completed, as Ghostic is going to die up here top. Oh, and Lina moving in to steal the kills. Although, with the Razor here as well, might be a little bit in over her head. The slowdown, the chase, the skewer, it connects, and trying to find the kill. They will get it. Screen also needing to run away. We'll have another skewer in a second. Slow. Oof. Wasn't quite able to connect there, but they will be able to find it. Now, Eye of the Storm, Screen in some trouble. Razor finding a double kill. Taylor really doing it. What a guy. Apparently a bowler. Sorry. Can I die more quietly, please? Don't worry, I'll take care of it, man. I'm on it. Innocent Fam. Now in a little bit of trouble. Does have Infest if he wants to try and dodge away from the stun, but we'll just eat it. And, I mean, that's really relevant. Like, the biggest thing about this is that you look at how much damage was just done onto the Beastmaster that was just rage committed with a dual breath, right? Like, you can make that happen again, and it's very little cost. I guess you also had open wounds, but again, it's like such little cost for how much damage was dealt, and potentially just eat a mango or what have you, and you're suddenly in position to make it happen again. It's like Coop's in some trouble. The static link, the Ink's will to run away, and that might be enough to save his life for the moment. Still a lot of damage stolen. And I am going to mute myself while I cough. Alright, unmute. Coop in trouble. Ah, they got the hit, they got the kill, and now the chase forward, the pull back in with the skewer yet again done with Aachen. They do manage to find the finish onto Lina, so time after time, the Pango making the plays that they need. Very, very solid stuff. Very impressed with them so far, honestly. I mean, this is kind of what I think everybody expected out of this team. You know, some fam. Oh, the ice path. Slayer was ready. Pops the stick so he gets the mana and then finds the kill. And you look at, like, the CS right now, and it doesn't actually look that bad, right? Because Razor hasn't been having a good time with it. CK is still farming away. Like, this is things to consider. He's going to be going for the Midas as well. It's that you also have pretty good net worth on the support bag, is the scary part about this, right? You've kind of got, like, 4 cores in a way that are going to be building up. And the other thing is that this one core that you're sort of building has been able to make a lot of stacks happen, gets the punch, another round of double stacks. The best thing that you can say right now for Dire is that they have been able to move in and steal a couple of these stacks, which is so vitally important. And again, Screen, he's going to move up onto the high ground. Does look like he is going to be caught. We'll manage to find that D ward. The Frost Shield, keeping him alive for the moment. Screen, slowed. Ooh, just barely connect there. The Razor Q, and now the turnaround, the Laguna Blade, able to find him. This is going to be an Ice Path, though, connecting onto the lane of the walk away. As Cute moves back into position. Great skewer again, saving his core's life. That would have been a dead Razor otherwise. Very solid performance coming out from these supports. Both Xayah and Coop have been doing a hell of a job so far. Very, very impressive. Let me just double check that I'm not muted. Wonderful.
Radiant are scanning.
And we're just going to keep it there for the moment. So, Naive, realizing that there could be some danger coming his way, is going to retreat back to the jungle. He is going to be spotted on this ward that was just placed. I think that was pinged out, though, since you did have another Radiant Observer ward that was in the area. Might have seen that rotation over. And he is going to take the long walk around to make sure he doesn't get caught by anybody. Was a little bit inefficient on that Midas, but that's okay. It wasn't that long. It was still on cooldown when he was walking into the jungle. So we'll call it good for the moment. But you can see right now, really what it feels like is Dire keeps on having to make these rotations into the jungle to try and disrupt the farming. Because you just know, like, Empower Mag is going to become more and more of a problem as this game goes on. And, like, this is the most value level 1 in Shockwave that I've seen in a while. He's just been able to get so much done on that hero. As it does look like Janos and Fam going to be able to find and kill Slayer. They're going to use a fortification. This is obviously the nice thing that you would want to try and do as the Jakiro is slow down the push, get yourself some experience. Doesn't end up working out as well as he's going to get caught there and killed. And, well, they're actually TPing in to come and try and defend this. This is a rather bold play. Ghostic moving into position, and they aren't going to be able to find that. Just a little bit too slow. And heads-up play by the Beastmaster to be able to find that kill on Jakiro first. And now they're going to try and rotate in. So that was Roar used, so they won't have Roar for this engagement. But they do still have Soulbind and Frostblast, which is kind of a strong combination as well. I don't know if I like this. Slayer's going to break the smoke, it looks like, and that ends any hope of finding any other kills mid. But they will be able to take down that Jakiro. So the hope there was to connect with the Laguna Blade Soulbind, but finding the Jakiro is kind of like the worst case scenario. They should be able, that fortification, I guess, to take down the... A little bit rough. You would have loved to save that fort for mid tower, because now both of them are sort of like going down simultaneously. So they will still be able to take tier 1 mid, and now they can come and invade this jungle. This is... All right, this is going to be a huge point of contention right now. So they kind of need to come and take this fight. Aaechen is here. He's alone. They're TPing in with the rest of them. This is happening a little bit too slowly, I think, though, from Aachen. They're going to soulbind 2 together and now trying to run away. It looks like with that slow, it might be enough to keep him alive. They have another plasma field? No, he just needs one more punch here, and they'll find the kill onto Grimstroke. So Ghost Tick does go down while this is happening. So space created down in the bottom lane. Yeah. I think that if Aachen was there a little bit earlier in numbers, you can probably make that play and go in and steal the stack. Like, the thing is that this is not going to be an easy stack for the Pango to take. They're going to need to commit heroes to it. The scary thing is that you don't really have that many observer wards in the area to scout out when they do decide to go and take it. But again, Aachen just making these stacks happen over and over. Pango, mid lane, finds screen, gonna go back towards the wall, and that is gonna be a dead Lich. So I'm going to try and get in range for experience. He uses that skewer, fine and dandy. But you find one pickoff, all of a sudden you can maybe go for that catch and the kill. Light Strike Ray follow-up. They don't have Laguna Blade, but they won't need it for this. And this is the question, like, when do you move in and try and take that stack? Immediately they ping it out. They're like, we need to get here and at least contest. Make sure that they don't get it for free. And he is going in to take down this stack. This is very deadly. All right, this is really good from the Pango. They're going to keep pressure on the other side. But they should know that this stack is being taken right now. And are they going to move in to try and defend it? At least send the Hawk over there. I think that's going to be the next thing that they do. But it's already taken. This is why it's like, that's such a huge thing that Lifestealer is able to get that stack unimpeded. Like, you are perfectly fine giving up that Jakiro there. And this is one of, like, the big things, right? If you're a top tier team, they're going to move in now to try and go and contest for this stack, but it's already dead. I feel like there needed to be a ton of emphasis on that. And now they aren't going to be able to get anything from it, it looks like. So the Pango doing a really, really good job of recognizing what's important in the game for them at that point. You know, just take that stack, get your Lifestealer online, and suddenly you're in a position where you're going to continue to snowball. With all that said, you do have the Hand of Midas on the Chaos Knight, as it looks like Magnus is going to be controlled here. Can he actually turn this back around? Skewer to the high ground! Catches out Coop. They do have the Soulbind now. Need to be a little bit careful. Long duration silence. The Urn charge as well. Can he live through this one? He's almost dead. The tick out, it is going to be enough for the kill. So they lose 2 there as Vitun going to pop. Oh, he had an illusion rune there at the same time. Nice timing. This actually... Okay, with Mag dead and also the Jakiro gone, that Urn ticking down and finding the kill, they can actually put some heavy pressure on here. With Chaos Knight ulti also, like... I don't know if I would say you can go high ground, but you can at least force back the Pango, I think. Like, you don't have to commit much for it to happen. These illusions do so much damage. So they're going to put some pressure on here, I would imagine. If they see anybody show up or if too many people leave the map, then they need to back out. And yeah, you can see that there's too many people missing from the maps. They don't feel confident with it. And instead, just going to farm out the lanes, maybe push for the tier 2 in the mid lane. Beastmaster will stay down bottom to keep the pressure on. He still doesn't have vision here, which is a little bit scary. Yeah, so he's going to back out now. With nobody showing on the map, it's very dangerous. Alright, going to mute myself for another little quick cough. That's normally the point where I would stop talking and let the co-caster talk, and then you guys wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Never fear, we'll hopefully be able to get somebody in here relatively soon. Smoke, don't know if that one was scouted. It does look like as soon as they're going to back out though, so they might have seen some particle effects or something. Yeah, it looks like they're all going to back out. Oh, Arcane Rude Midas. Yeah, don't go for that. That's not the play. So, come on, buddy. Yes, yes. Oh, feels so good. See the CK, can't really do much there. It's a 3,000 gold lead. Pango in some trouble in spite of that early good movement. Like, they gotta be careful. The fact that they got that kill on the Mag, the fact that they've been able to consistently move into this jungle and Blink Tag reveal with the RP, the Eul Scepter lift up though, and they wanted to catch it all together, but it's not quite online. Aachen doing the turnaround. The Chain Frost is there. It's bouncing back and forth between them, but there's the pull back in. Another Eul Scepter lift up onto the Razor. They need to walk out with Cube. Can they find these kill? The Chain Frost bounces, just dismantling, and it was not perfectly timed together. You go a little bit too early, and suddenly Soulbind Chain Frost dismantles your day. Oh. I mean, you think about that, right? You hit the 3-person RP, but there's nobody else to follow it up, and also not really having the best vision in the area. That really, really hurts. Really, really hurts. Like, I think that the ward that was up here was just out of range of the Lina, and she getting that Eul Scepter lift up, like, Zayat almost was able to get the full skewer pullback, but couldn't quite get there in time. And as soon as you are able to get, like, the Soulbind Chain Frost off, the fight is basically over at that point. Suddenly, 6,000 gold lead, and they're going to start losing hero after hero here. Yeah, that never feels good. Never feels good. Get the D ward on the Sentry. God, it's just, no matter how much you nerf how much health these Hawks have, it's still just so good. Like, Hawk is so freaking busted right now. You guess what I was doing right there? This pronunciation, sad face. Beast first for Aachen on Wikipedia. It's a city to get the pronunciation right. I'm sorry, der Alts Fritz one. It's pronounced Aachen. Okay. Aachen. I'll try my best. I will try my best. Please forgive. God, I still can't believe that just interruption that came out. Lina is doing so much. She's owning. Aachen is in Germany, not Aachen in Indonesia, where the tsunami in 2004 started. Another RP. Jump up onto one. If they can kill this CK, it's worth it, but he suddenly gets the ulti off and trying to armlet toggle his way to victory. Not going to happen. Meanwhile, Tyler gonna get taken down, so trade-off. They did have to use RP for the other kill. Anything important used here? They still have Soulbind and Chain Frost. Gotta be careful. The Soulbind and Ghost Stick, he's still rolling around in the moment. Not quite in a ton of trouble at all, and with Coop going down, they've kind of lost their full combination. They have the skewer back if they want to use it. Jumps forward. Tries to get in range. Jonas and Fam, he wants to get the other side, but he's slowed down by the board. Get over here with the little skewer. Now the runaway, Jonas and Fam. Bonus movement speed from the Primal World, but the slowdown comes from Ghost Stick. Trying to find him. There's going to be the Ice Path. Finding themselves the kill. And a big win for the Pango. Man. So I think what we're starting to see here, first of all, is just heroes getting caught out of position, like what happened earlier with the Pango. Not what you want to see. But the other big thing is that if you haven't been paying too much attention to Dota over the past couple of days, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Lifestealer is not an amazing hero. But this hero is back to insane mode. There's a lot of reasons for this. He got the movement speed buff in the last patch, which is, you know, it's nice, but that's not the reason he's back. I would think, to me, there's a couple of things. One is the movement speed, but the other is the fact that Feast is now changed around. So it's based upon a percentage of target's max health, and no longer just the current health that they have. Before, you would have situations where, like, you know, you're life stealing against somebody that's super low HP, like a Huskar or something, and it's not the biggest deal in the world. Unreal good now. Super duper solid. Also, you're still just about as good as you were before. The, like, Radiance build with the mischance, very strong. And then on top of that, you're playing against all these big tanky heroes in today's patch. It's just good overall. The hero feels so much better than he used to. All right, I need to be careful here. Radiant, you move too far forward, Everybody's in the area. CK could come to catch up afterwards. Slayer drops the ward up on the high ground. They're going to spot him from the low ground. Going to get the D ward immediately. Try and take that one out. The jump forward. RP comes out, connects onto 2. Pretty solid with the Ice Path and the Macro Pyre on top of him. But now the Chain Frost. Was it used a little bit too early, though? They weren't able to get the double Chain Frost. Doesn't matter, though. CK comes, cleans up in an instant. They've already lost 2 for only the cost of their Grimstroke. And now finding more. Triple kill for V-Tune. And that's the problem. Again, you make that move. There was a Hawk right over this Roche pit, so they saw absolutely everything when that fight was starting. And now they can head right into the pit. I think Beastmaster is still just so good. People aren't picking it that much, but it's incredibly strong. Do need to be careful here, although Pango doesn't have ulti, and they're moving in. They're not quite going to get there. He's to shield crash in, but it won't happen. Lifestealer being dead does mean that it's all for naught. So, we're talking about how good Lifestealer is. Turns out CK is still very strong as well. Oh, this hero. 3.7 strength gain per level. Not to mention just how big his illusions get. I mean, this is one of the things about this hero, right? Is like, how often have we seen him just sort of get completely out of control? And it's just impossible to deal with it. Like right now, before Armlet, 3,600 health on this guy. Sorry about the cough, guys. I can't keep on turning off my mic over and over again. I need an actual mute button. Unfortunately, I think my mute button actually just ends the stream, which is not what we want to have happen. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. Again, I'm going to bring up the brackets so you guys can see where we're sitting at. This is game number 1. The name that apparently I'm going to continually mispronounce versus Pango. We've got Empire versus Pavaga that's going on simultaneously. A little bit later on today, we're going to have the upper bracket matchup, and then afterwards, the lower bracket matchup. Go back to in-game for a moment. We're waiting for this one to get going. Everybody is letting me know about how to pronounce it correctly. I'm so sorry. All right, without R, apparently. Which is funny, because there isn't actually an R in their name. Somehow, I've been able to continue casting, trying to say Archon, my rank or whatever. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, I got up there. We're making it happen. Bottled up DD. V-Tune, Aegis in hand, and in spite of all of my talk about how much I love Lifestealer, turns out CK still an incredibly hard to deal with hero. Oh. All the tier 2s down. And, you can't get caught out if you're Razor right here. It just can't happen. They're going to TP boots onto the boar. So they have ways to deal with split push now. Guys, this Jonas and Fam team, I mean, this is the thing about it, right? V-Tune, he's been on a lot of different tier 2 teams in the past. Jonas and Fam obviously has had ups and downs depending upon which iteration of various, organizations you can talk about with him. I think that Coop has been a rising star for a very long time. And you'd be forgiven if you haven't seen him all that much before, but he's been a standout player on every team that he's been a part of. A lot of fun. And then you go back to the beginning, Screen. This is a guy that's been around the scene forever. And he's had so many different teams. He used to be like one of the old Elements Pro Gaming captains. He's kind of taken a break for a little while. He had Walrus Punch, Screen Squad, all these different names for different teams that he's put together. And it's always been like right around, just below the periphery of Tier 1 CIS. Obviously, that all changes with Virtus Pro, but you guys know what I'm talking about. 25 minutes, 9,000 net worth lead. We're just sort of hanging out. Like I said, 3 best of 3s today for the CIS region. It is looking to me, at least, like this is going to be a more contentious qualifiers than I originally thought it was going to be. I didn't have a ton of hope. I thought Pango was just gonna sort of take over and run wild, and this could just be a draft thing. But it also does have the feeling of, you know, just some solid outplays too. Like they've had ideas of what they want to do. To me, the stack contention was a little bit messy, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Okay, Soulbind, double roar, move in, want to take him down. Oh, the RP though, it's on to 5. Can they get them all together? There's no follow-up. Slayer, where were you? It was beautiful, it was meant to be, but it's not going to happen. And now V-Tune is just going to run wild over everybody. I do believe, well, slow down, needing to run away. Actually, is it going to happen? They have the catch here. With the Ice Path and with the buyback, it's actually going to be enough. Where was the follow-up? Hello? V-Tune still thinking about turning this one. He's just going to TP away, but the Ice Path comes out yet again. That TP was never going to happen. What in God's name? So, okay. All right. Let's take a recap real quickly. At the end of the day, Lifestealer is a very strong hero. I thought that it was going to end up being better for them. The Razor was sort of, you know, getting picked off at the beginning, and him being able to come back into the fight didn't matter the biggest amount in the world. Probably the biggest thing was just like the control that he dished out. But holy crap, they did it. They held. Still an 8,000, 9,000 gold lead. But that Radiance burns slowly over time. Hitting a couple of those right clicks with Empower can make a pretty big difference. I think that fight looks so much better for the Pango if Slayer is able to get an Ice Path off a little bit earlier. I think then you might just wipe. Oh my god, you guys are throwing out all the what faces. All the what faces. I do have AIDS. Rip Lyrical. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive. Forgot to unmute. Oh god, please tell me I didn't unmute. I did unmute. What are you guys talking about? You're crazy. Malk2497. Guys, Malk is back and he's flaming me in Twitch chat. Please report. Thank you very much. Ghost Stick has Guardian Greaves, building towards the Crimson Guard next. I mean, this is, if you think about it still, like, there are elements to this dire draft that start to feel pretty good with, like, the Soul Mine and everything, but you saw there in that last fight, too, it's sort of what I was talking about, that once you use your Laguna Blade, once you use your Roar, and you have Grimstroke ulti down, like, even if you get it onto 2 heroes, I don't know if that's strong enough to win the fight if your CK is controlled. Ooh, good BKB. Now the turnaround, lift up. Zayat in some trouble. He might go down here, does still have RP. Does he have buyback, though, afterwards? No buyback. That's where things get a little bit testy, but you don't have BKB for Lina. I don't know if that matters, though. I don't know what the follow-up is going to be to try and get her out of position from the get-go. So not having buyback on this mag is pretty huge. 200 gold away, in fact. Go pick up a bounty rune or something, guys. Oh no, Ghost Stick, he's rolling, he's not doing anything. That double Laguna Blade again. But Lifestealer's still living, and the Chain Frost, it's only bouncing onto creeps. They've kind of spent their whole load here, but I think they're still going to be able to get the melee barracks. Now, do they decide to go for more? This is where things get a little bit deadly. Again, you've got the mag that's coming back alive in a second. They will be able to see him moving forward, though. Ice Path onto 2. Need to be careful. 5 seconds till Ice Path is up again. They have the Eul Scepter lift up from the Razor. Buyback coming from Pango. Now the Eul Scepter again from the Lina. Does have BKB in 13 seconds, but it looks like it might not be in quite enough time. So they're just going to have to sacrifice her. And everybody else gets out. So they got what they came for. They got the barracks. And the Pango left searching for answers. God, if you had buyback right there on mag, I think you hold that, Rax. So 30 minutes. Pango will secure 3, maybe 4? Maybe 4? Hello? No. Ghost Stick goes down. Oh god, click on the map all like a crazy person. But yeah, so that's kind of what I mean though, is like there is a limit to the amount of damage that they do, with the exception of the CK. Like if CK is able to get off all of his illusions and, you know, sort of stay onto targets and not be controlled, I think that they win all these fights. I actually think I'd rather see a BKB for him maybe than Even just for like the lifesteal. Like if lifesteal stays onto him, this heart's gonna end up being kind of a problem. Only insofar as like he's gonna be taking a lot of, you know, just the normal bonus damage that you would from Feast. Is there any way that you take this as the Feast damage lifesteal? This game. Doesn't sound good. He's gone for a Lincoln's. So wants to make sure that Soulbind doesn't cause problems. I mean, the biggest thing is the shit doesn't get roared.
Radiant are scanning.
Now, I think you probably have to still take the Rage. Like, the extra duration that you get from Rage gives you an extra hit with Feast, which is an extra 4% as opposed to the 1% that you get otherwise, right? Found themselves Jonas and Fam. The Hawk not able to see through smoke. That's going to be the next buff this hero needs, apparently. Now going to pop the ulti, coming from that CK. Need to be careful. Zayat moving into position to skewer forward, but now where's the follow-up? They've already lost the Razor. Chain Frost only bounces over to Slayer. They're fine for the moment. They kill off that mag, and now Jonas and Fam trying to escape from Ghost Stick. Looks like he will be able to, and Naive just needs to go for the TP away. Slayer dies as well, and they're going to clean up Ghost Stick to boot. V-Tune is just so big. Oh, and he's actually going to be going for the MKB. So the thought here is like, just screw the mischance. We're just going to try and end your life. And there is something to be said for that. I actually don't know if they can deal with this push now. No more Aegis, but they do have a lot of potential damage out. Break the Lincolns. You'll Scepter lift up. Light Strike Array connects as well. Got Solar Crest, added attack speed onto him. Ice Path. Mag, still holding on to that RP. Oh, lordy. Careful, careful, careful. Open wounds. Pull back. Skewer going to pull him under the tier 4 towers. Where's the rest of the team now? RP connecting as well. They can't kill him off. This is tragic. Oh, lordy, lordy. And now, Aachen, they need to find the CK out of here, and I think it's going to happen. Soulbind, roar onto 2. They pull back in that Life Stealer. Going to find the kill. This game is freaking over. And the team that is unnamed, because I can't pronounce them correctly yet, is going to take game number 1 over the Pango. Aachen, newly formed, and always wonderful, are going to take game number 1 off the back of a V-Tune CK. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Well, let's take a look real quickly at the scoreboard. Got some wonderful battle cups going on. Standout player. Who really made the plays for them this time? I mean, the easy case is V-Tune, right? Because he sort of got a ton of kills. I don't know if he was actually the one. I think that maybe I think Lena played quite well. Coop also had an amazing early game. That kind of set up his core to be able to take over the game. I think that's who I'd give it to. Definitely. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's game number 1. We're going to be back in just a little bit for game number 2. And we are going to bring up the bracket. Game number 1, going to Aachen. Again, I apologize that I cannot fully pronounce that name. I will do my very best in the intervening time to make that happen. I'm going to put on a little bit of music, run some commercials, and then we will be back. I'm probably going to chat with you guys a little bit in between games. Also, hopefully my co-casters are going to show up, and then we'll be able to have not a chat cast, because it's not the best in the world. Have a great one, everybody, and I will see you guys in a few.